Yes, guys, and welcome to the Sheff Wednesday vs Sunderland match review. So Sunderland have finally got themselves back to winning ways. Now, was it pretty? No. Do I give a shit? No! Absolutely not. So do us a favour, if you're buzzing, hit the like button for me. It'd really put a smile on my face. I mean, I've already got a smile on my face anyway, but yeah, it wasn't a pretty game by any stretch of the imagination. As you can see, Rodgers tinkered with the squad quite a lot. And although I did see a couple of risks in there, I did also appreciate the change. There were a lot of Sunderland fans, including myself, that were really calling for changes, really wanted him to ring the changes, but then as soon as the team sheet went out, there were so many Sunderland fans who were like, but no, not those changes. Do you know what I mean? Like, I did feel like Rodgers was in a sort of, in a lose-lose situation. He couldn't win, do you know what I mean? But yeah, there were a couple of ones that I was not particularly, it weren't like I was angry with, but I wasn't particularly buzzing with. I would have liked to have seen a Mayenda and Isidore start the game together for one. I was happy that Brown started, that was great. Sirkin, there was rumours before the game that he was either injured and picked up a knock, but then there was further rumours that he'd actually been done for drink driving. Now, I'm not going to say that as a statement and say that that's an absolute thing, because obviously that's a very serious offence, but it's just a rumour that was ringing around over the last 24 hours or so. So how true it is, I don't know, but I thought I'd just update you guys as well. I'm not, I'm not just adding fuel to the fire and making shit up. It's just what we've seen. So, but I don't know. Nothing's been mentioned of it. So when he didn't start, it did kind of make me think, okay, maybe there is something in this. But he did come on later on in the game. But Mayenda took his place. So yeah, it was a bit of a mishmash of an 11 of a lineup. But I was excited to see how they play. It wasn't great. It really was not great. So we get into the game. We start off and Sheff Wednesday are all over us. Opening 10 minutes. And just every time we got the ball, yeah, their pressure was decent. And, they're known for that. Sheff Wednesday, going forward, they're generally quite good. Or at least they look good. Yeah, they're definitely guilty of, not being clinical in front of goal. That's kind of been one of the main issues this season. But they do make chances and they look very dangerous. It's at the back where you need to take advantage. As soon as you beat that pressure Sheff Wednesday, that's where they have problems as well, where they leave gaps all over the place and defensively they're not great. They had to ring the changes as well. They had injuries, they've had illness within their squad. But the opening 10 minutes, every time we got the ball, we just pumped it forward and it was so unlike us. It would have been more natural for me to see us try to play it out from the back but then lose the ball, but we weren't even doing that. It was just pump the ball forward, straight back to Sheff Wednesday, and it was a piece of piss for them. And don't get me wrong, they weren't making chances left, right and centre, but they were just dominating, trying to flood the box constantly, and we just couldn't get out at all. And the couple of little times we did try and play it on the ground, we just passed it straight to a Sheff Wednesday man, and I thought, we're in for it here. We're really in for it. They did have one cross put into the box, which I'm going to, admit this, by the way, before Sheff Wednesday fans come in and think I'm not going to acknowledge it, because I definitely am. I'm pretty certain the referee turned off handballs before the start of the game, which I'm thankful for, which I'm going to explain for now. I'm going to explain now. They put a ball in the box. Mayenda, he's gone up, and he's kind of gone up like this, with his hand on his head like that, and the ball's hit his hand. Very clear handball. Referee doesn't see it, apparently, which I'm sure he didn't, but thankfully for us, nothing was given. We carry on, and we did start to get a foothold of the game, albeit, we weren't creating loads, but, Mundell started to get into it a lot more on the left-hand side. Bear in mind, it's the first time he started a game in God knows how long. Same with Brown as well. There's a lot of first starters in a long time. Mayenda, who I think he's only started one game in the cup, and that was it, really. I can't remember him starting another game. I could be wrong there. Mayenda hasn't started in a long time. He's been coming off bits and pieces off the bench. So there was a lot of players who I did kind of understand, and I wanted to give them a bit of leeway to kind of work their way into the game. But we did get a foothold of it, started to control it a little bit more, made little chances here and there. But we did eventually find the back of the net, and it definitely wasn't without its controversy. Mayenda actually pumps the ball forward towards Mayenda. Now, it's a difficult one because his hand is by his side. So the ball comes over, it just beats the defender, and his arm is by his side. But it absolutely hits his arm, and when it does hit his arm, the ball bounces directly into a favourable position in front of goal for him to bundle it past the incoming keeper. So it makes it 1-0, but I wasn't complaining whatsoever, and I can only imagine the anger and the fury that was going through the minds of the Sheff Wednesday fans. But of course, sometimes we need to take that rub of the green, and how many times have we seen shit like that go against us? So I was just buzzing that it went in our favour for a change. But yeah, made it 1-0, saw it out to half-time, and I just thought, right, okay, well, it hasn't been pretty, but we've got ourselves in the lead. Let's not throw it away now. Then the second half begins, and Jesus Christ, only sort of couple of minutes, we're playing it around neatly. They didn't really press us too much, but we were just playing it around neatly, and I thought, right, we're in control of it here. Then we had the ball on the right-hand side with Mepham. He takes a piss-poor touch, and he loses the ball. It's almost like a fight and a miscommunication between Brown and Mepham. They both kind of go for the ball at the same time. Neither of them get to it. Then the Sheffield Wednesday player bursts in between him, manages to nick it between him. Then he's got the whole of the left-hand side of the pitch to go for. He dinks it across goal. Then Patterson, the Sheffield Wednesday attacker, he's about 7 yards out. The ball is an inch perfect cross to him. You know, defenders couldn't do anything at this point because obviously they're fucking everywhere. But I think if we'd lost this game or we drew, I'd go a lot harsher, but I'm going to refrain and restrain myself from doing so. Yeah, don't get me wrong, the defending was shite for that goal. But Anthony Patterson, yet again, it was schoolboy errors again. And don't get me wrong, like I said, the build up to it was all on the defenders. It was shite. But you either come for it or you don't. And what he's done, the ball's been dinked into the Wednesday attacker, Patterson. I'll just say the Wednesday attacker because saying Patterson twice is going to confuse things. The ball's dinked into him 7-8 yards out, like I said, pretty much a free header. All he has to do is nod it across goal or nod it in on target, and it's going to go in. But Patterson, rather than either try to claim it, he's kind of like tried to judge the trajectory of the ball and dived behind the other Patterson, the Sheffield Wednesday striker. He's like dived behind him, almost trying to predict that he's going to miss it. He's never in a million years going to miss that ball. So basically what he's done there is basically said to the Sheffield Wednesday attacker, he said, if you win the header, you are absolutely 100% guaranteed a goal because I'm not in the fucker. Do you know what I mean? He's made it so easy. I don't understand what the hell he was thinking with that. If he's not going to come and claim it, at least just stand on your line, keep yourself there, keep yourself rooted, because then at least you give yourself half a chance to get your body on it. But instead, he's just absolutely dragged himself out of the scenario entirely. It's shite goalkeeping. And I keep on saying, and it's almost sticking up for him. I keep on saying that I don't think he's awful, but I don't think he's great like some people think. I think he's okay. But it's getting to the point now where I don't think he's even that anymore. And I said I'm going to try and refrain, but it winds me up. It is costing us points. Don't get me wrong, the defence was shite in the build-up. Mepham was shit in the build-up to that goal. But Patterson needs to do miles better, and it's such flimsy goalkeeping. And don't get me wrong, not long after that, he actually made a half-decent save. But, you know, the odd half-decent save here and there, and then your catalogue of errors and just stupidity, and so many errors that he makes don't lead to goals necessarily, so you don't remember him as much. The amount of times he flaps at corners and he's all over the shot. I don't know. I said it again. I said I'm not going to go in on him, but I can't help it. I need to be honest with what I saw. But we kept on plodding away. Again, it wasn't pretty at all. We kept on plodding away. But then we just needed that moment of quality, and it came in the form of a cross from Trey Hume. Ball's put over to him on the right-hand side, and rather than driving him, which we had been doing all afternoon, like Mundell was getting him down the left-hand side, Roberts was going on the right-hand side, rather than overthinking or overdoing it, he puts in an early cross, which I don't think we see enough from Trey Hume, because he does have a very good delivery on him. We've seen it in the past, but he's given it early. He didn't have a man pressing him, so I wouldn't have blamed him to run into the space, which I usually complain about, but he's played the early crossing because there's such genuine quality on it. Mayenda peels off his defender and he nods it into the net. It's just a class cross that no one can do nothing about it. So it's absolutely fantastic, better quality, and we managed to hang on. We managed to hang on to it, and don't get me wrong, they did try. They were absolutely throwing the kitchen sink at it. You know, we had last-ditch blocks by Mepham on the edge of the box. Great challenges here and there, and we really had all hands on deck. And we probably had chances to make it 3 as well ourselves. You know, Mundell had a free kick on the edge of the box. Keeper makes a great save. A couple of near moments here and there. But yeah, we managed to see it out 2-1. We did see Shirkin come on, as I said, and then we changed to a system where it was almost like 5 at the back when we're off the ball. And then Hjelde pushed inwards to join a sort of trio of centre-backs there, and then Cirkin to be the wing back. But one thing that I will say actually that did surprise me is as soon as we went 2-1 up, Rodgers brought on Isidore and went 2 up top with Mayenda and Isidore, which immediately I just thought, Jesus Christ, Rodgers, he must have Twitter. He must have Twitter because he hasn't brought a fucking centre-back on. Do you know what I mean? So I was really pleased to see him go for it. And Isidore, he was on for 20-odd minutes and didn't really do too much, to be honest with you. There was a couple of nearly moments where Mayenda did drive at goal, as he does, or drive towards the centre-backs, and he's tried to nick the ball in behind for Isidore, but this time it didn't quite come off, and they managed to nick it away from him. But those attempts were there, and I do like to see that. So I'm happy, of course. We're back to 3 points. We're back to winning ways. It was far from pretty. There were large portions of that performance that was very, very poor. But to go away from home and get a win and to go, to throw a goal away as well right at the beginning of the second half. Sheffield Wednesday had the tails up, and then for us to go and get ourselves back in the lead. It shows character, and with a lot of players that don't have a lot of game time in the legs. So it was really good. And as well, we saw Harrison Jones come on the last few moments of the game. It actually had a nice moment as well. Ball was put to him on the left-hand side, and rather than straight to the corner flag or trying to take the piss or wasting time or whatever, he's put his foot on the ball and he's done a little few passes with Job, which I know I'm clutching straws for positives for him, but it was just nice to see the young lad come off the bench, and he did have a couple of little triangles with Job, and it was nice to see him dictate the play like that. So that was lovely to see as well. See one of our academy boys come and put a shift in as well. But yeah, 2-1. Not going to get ahead of myself. We're 5 points away from second. However, of course, everyone else still has to play. But yeah, for this game, more so, it was just the result. I didn't care as much or too much about the performance. We just needed to get a win in any way, shape or form so we could start to build on it. And we've got the likes of, Mundell getting game time, Brown getting game time, who I thought put a shift in. Hjelde, there were parts where I thought he was okay. But then, I'm not going to lie, I'm just a very honest person, as you guys know by now. It was pretty poor. There's so many times where it was just misplaced passes, or giving away ball, or silly fouls. And he did it quite a lot. But I think there was a lot of that on the pitch anyway. It was a very hard, bubbly ground where there was a lot of under-hit, overhit passes, and it was just one of those kind of games. But it just happened a lot to Leo Hjelde, sadly. But either way, I'm going to leave it at that, guys. I'm not going to start digging at plays. We've just come away with 3 points. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought. But do us a favour, hit the like button for me. It'd be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you're new. There's still so many of you guys who are watching every single video and you're not subscribed. And it's dirty, disgusting behaviour. I'm not joking. But anyway, enjoy your evening. Enjoy your weekend. How are the lads? Come on.